to the StephUp Podcast. I wanted to share something that I've been learning, and this, if you know me at all, it can take me a long time to get things. Sometimes we are thick and dense and like we don't understand. We have to go through things and be told them many, many times to maybe get it. And it's something I've known within my brain. But to fully get it within my heart is something completely different. When you actually understand it, like, oh, I see now. Not only do I see with my what my head is telling me, but I see it with my heart on that actual physical level where you just embody it. And I feel like I just came through another understanding of something. And that's living from our what our soul wants, what is really within our inner being. Man, I tell you. So I have had a hard time over the many years in figuring out, first of all, what is for me and what is something for me within me. Am I saying this right? Within, what is my body telling me? What is my soul telling me? What do I want? Not everyone will understand this, but I didn't know that I could think for myself or that I could feel for myself, that I knew within my inner being what was right for me. And I would have people ask me, well, why don't you know? Can't you think for yourself? Can't you do things for yourself? Can't you understand for yourself? What do you want? Why are you listening to other voices? I actually, I don't know if it was the first time, but it was the first time it really clicked in my brain and remembered. In my 30s, I had a roommate because I said I have to consult God on this. I have to consult the Bible, and she asked me, "Don't you think God gave you a brain to think for yourself?" Or I don't know how she asked it, but maybe that's a little bit harsh. But can't you think for yourself? And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Now, I know for many people that seems odd, but you have to understand how some people are raised. And I was raised in a cult-like religion. It can't really be considered a cult, although it has many of the points from a cult, but it's not all of them, so it can't really be considered a cult. But it comes from a very authoritarian teaching, shame-based, fear-based. And I did not know, I was not taught how to think for myself or how to feel for myself. Because we all know that gut feeling that that doesn't feel right for me. And I knew that I had that within me, but because I was told that I was a sinner and I couldn't trust anything within my being, you have to go to the Bible for everything. Or what is God telling you? And I didn't know what that meant. How I know that now is like, oh, that's my gut, that's what God is telling you. But we weren't really taught how to go outside. And also we were given, this is what I think you should do, right? And I did this myself to people. It's just what you did. You would say, God told me to tell you. And it wasn't everybody. Um, but, when people didn't like something that you did, they would see that and go, oh, God told me to tell you because I believe it's wrong. And they're speaking from a place of ego, of what their desires for you, how you should live. They're speaking from a place of judgment and whatever is within them that's telling you how to live your life. And yes, I did that too to people. And I would take that and put out all the burdens of everybody, what everyone's voices were saying. Well, you should do this, Stephanie. No, you should do this. And because I look to outside voices, because that's where I didn't know how to really go with what I wanted or where I was, my soul, my inner being was leading me. If you want to call that the Holy Spirit, call that the Holy Spirit. If you want to call that God, a universe, source, whatever works for you, that's, you do know within you. But we can have all these things put on us by adults, by religion, by the systems in place telling us we need this, we need that. And when you don't have that awareness of what it is, then you feel torn apart in many different directions. You feel overwhelmed. And that was me for most of my life. It really was. And so not everyone can understand that because not everyone grew up in that same way. And so what I want to share with you is if you are going through that, if you are somebody who has gone through maybe an authoritarian religion, or maybe your parents were quite authoritarian and they were telling you what you need to do, you might not know what that feeling is within you. It is there, I assure you. We stuff it down, we snuff it out because we don't really know what it is, or we bypass it saying, no, that's not right. My dad's saying this or the pastor's saying this, and I have to go with what they're saying. But it is there. And sometimes it will just take time and understanding and patience and uncovering a lot of that extra that you've been given. And I can assure you it is there. And you felt it in your life. You have felt, your gut is telling you when something is off. Your soul is telling you, like, I don't know if I want to do this. I I went to three post-secondary schools. One of them I actually graduated from. And I'm grateful for those experiences. That was my way of learning different things. That was my way of trying something new. And then I'm like, okay, I'm over that. Let's move on to something else. But I also would go to different things because people would say, you should try this. I see you doing that. I think you should. And I would listen to that. But every time somebody had something for me and I tried it, it didn't work out. I'm not angry about it now. I was. And now I can see all of those things were showing me something. Okay, because now that I have that awareness, I can recognize, okay, somebody telling me I need to do this, it doesn't work out, and I don't want to do it, and I hate this, and blah, 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 blah. That didn't work out. Okay, wait. When I did this, which was just something I wanted to do, something that I felt led to do, maybe didn't make sense to anybody. I was just following what what was within me to do. And maybe it didn't work out exactly as you wanted. I got my college diploma in paralegal studies. And I worked for a law firm for 9 months. I did not enjoy it. I hated it, actually. It was one of the worst years of my life. And yet, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I went to that college. I'm still friends with one or two people from there. I learned what I learned, and it helped me in other aspects of my life. And one day it was just, I woke up and I was like, I want to be a legal assistant. And then I went to the school and they persuaded me to do paralegal, which was a more expensive program, of course. And, that was that influence. I was allowing that influence of the dean or whoever at the school who were trying to sell the more expensive program. I was under that influence of somebody else. And I said yes to that because I didn't know that I could. I just thought, well, he knows better than me. But hey, it happened. And I'm grateful for that. And also, it taught me, okay, I don't really need to be influenced by other people just because they say that. A lot of times, most of the times, That's what they are trying to get something out of you. And that's also in the marketing places. They're telling you that you need a product, that you need to do this, you need to do that. And we get overwhelmed, we get stressed out. I know I do. I used to think I need this, I need that. Oh, the commercial's saying this is saying that. And somebody said, you need to have this, Mike, and you need to do this, and you need to have this. No, I don't. Because they're trying to sell, they're trying to manipulate or put something upon you that maybe that's a suggestion. Great, I will try it if that works for me. But I tell you, I spent a lot of money and a lot of time and energy on things because I was being pushed into them and I didn't know that I could say no. I was that person who was people pleasing. I didn't want to be seen as going against. I wanted to people to like me. I didn't know how to walk away from situations. So I got caught up in a lot of different buying a lot of different things, getting involved in different MLMs or different programs, or I almost went back to school because I thought I was being pushed into it. And my friend, she wasn't, but I was stressed out and going, well, I guess maybe I should try this. And then it became this whole kerfuffle. And then at the last minute, I was like, no, I don't want to do this because I didn't know I could listen to my gut. My gut really was not excited about it. And I'm still on this journey. Yesterday, I had a conversation with, actually, two conversations with my wonderful friends, Timothy Waterman and Julie Howlett, who I'm going to have this podcast. And they were both so helpful with their wisdom and their gentle guidance. And I needed that. I needed those conversations because sometimes we need to get out of our own head. If you're anything like me, you get stuck up here in your head and all the thoughts and what about this? And people say you should do that. And they reminded me to come back to my soul. What feels right for you? Does this excite you? Do you want to do that? No. But people say I should. But do you want to? No. There's your answer. Your journey is not like other people's journeys. And that can get stuck in comparison. When we start doing that, we start comparing with others. You know, I see people doing things. I'm like, I need to follow that path because so and so because they achieved this and well, I want to be like that and well, I don't know, but I don't want to do that. And stresses me out. I get overwhelmed and I get overwhelmed easily. Being highly sensitive when too much comes at me, it overwhelms my whole system, my body, my nervous system. And that's just how I'm wired. So I go with what feels right for me, what is simple for me in this moment. I don't want to be somebody who's caught up in all these different things with all these different aspects. Not in the way that maybe works for that person, but it's not for me. And I can get so stuck in there, which makes me start comparing, which makes me actually bring out anger and jealousy and hatred towards people. That's not a fun place to live. We know that. And so when I come back and I'm like, oh, there's that gentle calm, that peace. What feels right for me? Even if somebody says, I can see you doing this, maybe, but that's what you see me doing. And thank you for the suggestion. I'll sit with it. I'll go, that could be for me. You know, maybe, maybe later. Who knows? The important thing is being open to things and then also knowing, is this right for me in this moment? Is this something that really excites me? There may be a fear associated with it too, right? There can be all these different emotions that come up. Whenever we're doing something new, there's that fear. Your body is trying to keep you comfortable and safe, and something new is different. And It's like, oh, no, that's scary. And yet there will be an excitement if it is something meant for you. Every time I go to do something new, like a live talk, or I'm speaking at an engagement, or even doing podcasts as a guest on podcasts, I get nervous. But it's an excitement. And there have been times where I wanted to back out of podcasts, especially if they're live on video. There was one I wanted to back out so badly the day before because I was really nervous. I thought, no, come on, you're just nervous. This happens to people. It's fine. Oh my gosh. But then as soon as I started and I was on it, and it was just the most fun, and I lit up. I come alive. That's when I know this is what my soul wants me to do. So I just want to encourage you and let you know if you have had people say to you, ask you, oh gosh, that question, what's wrong with you? First of all, there's nothing wrong with you. And I look back, I have had that from so many people. The shame, the all these things telling me there's something wrong with me, you're a mess, you're this. I That was painful and hard and just constant shaming. But I look back and I'm like, I had to go through that so I can understand. So I can be there for other people who are going through that. So I can help people and be understanding and have that compassion, empathy, because I've been through it. And now I can look back and be grateful. But in that time, it was hard. It was like, why is everyone always telling me there's something wrong with me? Just because I don't have the same experiences or I don't look like you, because I'm me. And there was trauma there. There was stuff that always heaped upon me. And if you come from a background like that, yes, you're going to feel that. So there is nothing wrong with you. And yet, you know what? There's this way that we can move forward. And it's going to look different for you than it looked for me, than it looks for somebody else. Our healing journey is different for all of us. And we all have different ways of how we're going to go through it. There's no one size fits all. So if somebody tells you this worked for me, so it has to work for you, that is not true. But I want you to know that you can find it because it is there. It just might be really hidden deep, but it is there and is within you. And if you want to, if you feel so led, you feel connected with me, I would love to connect with you. I can work with you on guiding you through. I will sit with you in those moments, hold space for you, and we can work together. I want to help mentor, guide people through this journey. If you didn't feel like you had a voice, if you came from authoritarian, strict upbringing religiously, I've been there. I can see you through to freedom. But it's your journey and it's how it looks for you. There is no should, there is no telling you what to do. All I can give is guidance. I have tools that we can work on, anything like that. But there is no have to, there is no should, and there is no this is exactly for you just because it worked for me. It's all about what works for you in that time. And we can try things and see what fits, and that's it. And I'm sure, as I have been, I'm sure you are tired of people telling you that this is what you have to do to get there because it looks different for all of us. But yes, I assure you, we can find what is my soul telling me? It's there, it's within you. Sending love to you all.